Saurabh Mukherjea, Marcellus Investment Managers have actually come out with a very interesting note. They are, renowned for deep dives in various themes and subjects that they keep researching along with the team. Now, Saurabh's team has come out with a note which talks about how you should look at investing in New India. Some of the conventional, way of thinking while approaching markets is getting challenged. And over the long term, how US actually, India and US, one of the two very good performing markets, and a lot of research has been done around it. Saurabh, what are the key highlights of this new report and research study, and what triggered it more so?
Right. So I guess to be honest about the fact what triggered it is after COVID, especially in the 2 years after COVID, we realized that there are investee companies, whilst they were continuing to generate 20% profit growth, there were a whole ecosystem of smaller companies, right? As we subsequently discovered, around 6,000 smaller companies who were growing profits at 30-35%. And these were not PE or VC funded companies. These were perfectly ordinary smaller companies who were growing profits at a rapid rate. And as we realized this, as we realized it to 2023, that a new India is being born. We call these challenger franchises, Ajay. These are roughly 6,000 companies below the top 800. The top 800 companies are the rulers. They make profits of around $60 million. This is basis the government's corporate tax data. 800 companies in India make $60 million or more of PAT. They account for 70% of profits. These are the dominant franchises in the country. But the fastest profit growth in the country is the 6,000 companies below the top 800. And we realize that these 6,000 companies account for basically the other 20-25% of India's PAT. And they're growing profits at 30-35% in almost every year post-COVID. Now, what's resulted in this rapid growth among smaller companies? Remember, we're talking here about challenger companies with profits between, say, $5 to $50 million, right? Between 40 crores to 400 crores, right? Effectively, companies like Marcellus actually. These companies have benefited enormously from the rise of mobile data, the rise of UPI, the rise of high quality infrastructure and GST. The combination of these forces has democratized profits. It's allowed smaller companies to pull away profit pools from the larger companies, the rulers, but most importantly, even tinier companies with profits below 1 crore, those guys have really suffered. India has roughly 1.4 million companies who make less than 1 crore of PAT. Those guys have lost their profits to these challengers. And next up, I reckon in the next 5-6 years, the challengers are going to come after the ruling dominant franchises in the country with disruptive, lean, efficient models.
Amazing point, because I've been always under the impression, and in fact, you were the one who drew our attention towards, still 5-6 years back, you said, Ajay, 80% of the profits are made by 20% of the companies, right? So this is a change in stance that for whatever reasons, and I want you to, highlight the factors. Up till now, it was just the biggies were actually having the largest profit pools. Now you're saying true democratization of profit is happening, and these challengers will come back in a roaring manner?
So absolutely. So it's not so much our change in stance, it's change in the data that arises from the government, from corporate profitability. You're right. Till 2020, we were seeing consolidation of profit pools in the hands of 20 very large companies. The last 4 years, the post-COVID era, has been about democratization of profit pools. But to be clear, it's not democratization to everybody. It's democratization to roughly 6,000 companies who are below the top layer. I call it the second decile. The second decile of India Inc., companies with profits between 40 crores to 400 crores, that's where the fastest growth is. And our research is suggesting that the reason these smaller companies are now booming, they're flourishing is high quality infrastructure, both physical and digital, the rise of AI, the rise of top quality infrastructure even in small towns. That's lowered the cost of doing business. It's lowered transaction costs, it's lowered frictional costs, and that means that smaller company can be on a level footing to a company which is, say, in the Nifty, and the smaller company often has a lower cost structure, has a better business model, perhaps more use of tech and digital to grab customers, and they're going forward and disrupting it. To the extent that the larger companies are being able to participate in this disruption, the larger companies who are doing so are those who have a challenger franchise inside the business. So a classic example would be Trent building Zudio. And I think no surprise that Zudio has prospered in the post-COVID era. Trent's ruling franchise was West Side. The challenger franchise is Zudio, and Trent is very smartly locked into this challenger ecosystem. Similarly, say Tube Investments, building out the entire EV ecosystem that they're building, two-wheelers and trucks and tractors and so on that they're building. So large companies who are benefiting from the challenger ecosystem are those who are seeding, financing challenger subsidiaries. But more generally, both in listed and unlisted, there are several smaller businesses coming through with profits around 40, 50, 100, 200 crores who are using the new India, new digital and physical infrastructure to create beautiful business models, highly profitable compounding machines. And our job increasingly the last 1 year has been to load up on these new businesses as India's profit landscape changes dramatically.
I mean, this calls for a much longer discussion, Saurabh, but unfortunately today we have lesser time. But before that, another big observation from you in this communication is about rise of the urban women. I mean, we've been talking about women's role in voting, women's role in consumption, but you're talking about the urban women who have their finances in their own hands much more. Grip is better. Talk to us about how important this part is.
So, these are related. The challenger ecosystem, new digital, new physical infrastructure. What's done is it's allowed women to capitalize on commercial opportunities through the mobile phone, through mobile and e-commerce, right? So the government's data is also showing that creation of small enterprises, creation of self-employment opportunities is far, far greater amongst women now than amongst men. It's actually stunning how sharply women have pulled away from men in terms of creating small enterprises and self-employment opportunities. That in turn is related to the fact that at every level of the education system, primary school through to university, more women are studying than men, and the pass rates of women are better. So women are better educated, they are more able to start businesses, do business on mobile commerce, on mobile data, and also in corporate India. If you look at increasingly not just white collar office spaces like yours and mine, but also factories. Entire factories are now run by women in places like Pune, places like Hosur. So both in the industrial ecosystem and in the services, professional services ecosystem, women are getting increasingly the best jobs. That's resulting in more money in the bank. That's resulting in lower delinquency rates for women. And naturally, therefore, investors like us are very interested in this. We want to make money from investing in the companies whose products women are buying. And we also want to make money by having more women customers.
Right. All right, Saurabh, thanks for joining us. This is indeed a very interesting way, and you've given us a lot of material for researching and showcasing these companies, the 6,000 companies, fast-growing companies which are benefiting from this change in environment. Thanks very much for your time.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.